All right. Who am I with here?
Gabriel Mora.
And what did you do today?
I played in YCS Orlando.
All right. Where'd you place? What happened? What's your record?
I placed 86th. Loss. I was X2. My only two losses were to Strong. I couldn't really control that. The only cards that I really have to stop it is just pretty much Impulse and Prey with having the M Perm and Fuwalos. Last round went in X2 and can't remember the name of the player that I placed. What was his name?
It was Honey's brother.
Honey's brother.
Yeah.
But I ended up losing that match. He was on Fiendsmith Ryfield, and he just had it. He just wanted it more. He had the gas. I couldn't really stop it. He had the hand traps, and I could only do so much. In the end, it was game 2. He got game 1, and he ended up nibbing me. And right after he Lancia'd, so I couldn't. I couldn't help that. He just wanted it more. But kudos to him. I wish him the best of luck at the rest of the rounds, and hopefully he can keep pushing forward and hopefully win this thing out. Today I did play Bystial Maliss. Bystial Maliss was my top contender. I played different versions of this deck already. I've tested Fiendsmith, I've tested Pure, I've tested Kashtira, and then I tested Bystial, and last regional I went to in Columbus, I actually got my first invite in 5 years. The list didn't feel all that great, so I made adjustments to it to fit my liking, just so that way my deck can make more consistent plays, because then it kind of opened my eyes to see like where it falters. But let's get right into this.
Yeah, show me the list. Show me the list.
So,
Congratulations.
Thank you. So day 2 list, 86th place. We played 3 roll. You have to. I mainly chose to play this just due to Mitsurugi Ryziel. This actually also helps stop Charmies. I've actually drolled my opponent a couple times whenever they charmed me, and they just never expected it. And Droll's really good card. Only saw one Mitsurugi Ryziel player, and I won that match. So 3 Droll. We play 3 Fuwalos in this list. I never played this card in any other list because it would just be a dead card in hand if you go first. If you don't play the Abow package, you should not main this card, just due to the fact that if you do go first and you win die roll, you're not going to have anything to pitch it off of. Now, if you do play the Abow package, I 100% recommend this card. If it gets ashed half the time, but that's just Fuwalos. It helps, minimize boards, and then you just go ahead and try to kill them the next turn. The next stuff is pretty standard. We got 3 White Rabbit, 3 Dormouse, and some people might be like, what? But 3 Chessy Cat.
How was that?
It was actually pretty good. So pretty much, hands down, my whole theory on this deck is just playing Bystials. So obviously you got your 6 main decks that are just really good starters, and Chessy Cat is like only good if you see Malice card. With the Bystials that I play, it actually helps me get into plays in itself. So Chessy Cat plus Bystial is just full combo every single time. So you just go Chessy Cat to Leak Decoder and then Bystial it away. 99% of the time, and I'm gonna be honest with you, and I said no opponent this entire event has ever Bystialed my Malice monster away, even though they had Bystial in hand. And it was bad because if they would have Bystialed away, they should have known, like, Chessy Cat didn't activate, so I didn't have any other Malice card in hand. I couldn't draw 2, so if it's going to grave and I'm trying to go Link Decoder, banish, they should have honestly just read that this is the only Malice monster that I have in hand right now.
Oh, that's
or the Malice
crazy.
card that I have in hand right now. So they should stop the Chessy Cat, and they never did. So like what happened was I just summoned Bystial, Chessy Cat summon, when it's red ransom, and I just went full combo from there, and they could not stop me just because I had so much consistency with this deck. And then the tech cards just go crazy as well. So 9 Malice monsters. With this deck, you do want consistency. I did play the Dotscaper. Dotscaper is really good going into game 1. game, and this is the only brick, aside from 06 starting hand. This is the only brick, and the losses that I had this in hand, and I just couldn't do anything. It was like this plus 06 plus Bystial, and again, I was playing the Crystron deck, so like they don't play any darks. What am I going to Bystial away? Dowscaper's coming out, so there's that. I'm cutting that card. So for the Bystial lineup, mandatory, you have to play 3 mag. Or not 3 mag, my bad, bro. I was looking at Drew's Worm.
Oh, good, good.
Mandatory, you have to play the 1 mag. Then I was playing 3 Drew's Worm, which, again, this is mandatory. You want to be able to out an opponent's detonator. Fiendsmith is all around, and you want to Bystial away their stuff. You don't want them getting to Caesar, because if they get to Caesar, they can stop your Bystial, and they just stop your plays, and then you cannot do anything. Nobody has talenced me at all to look at my hand this entire event, which I think is just wrong. You should always look at hand. If I activate a monster effect, you don't want me getting to full combo, because this deck is just gassed with Bystials. So people might flame me for this, but it worked out for me. We played 2 Baldrake and 2 Serenier. No Lubellions in this list. Lubellion, brick, it's not good. People can fight me on this. I will never agree, because the amount of times in testing, you can even ask Nana, I just have like Chessy Cat plus Serenier, and it's like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? Because you don't have any other Bystials in hand, and like, and that's the only one. Multiple names, just due to the fact of consistency. So if like you already used like a Jerusalem, and mind you, I've actually used all 4 Bystials in 1 turn before, because
that's devious.
Because it gets me there, and people never expected the Serenier. And not only that, like, you can always gaslight your opponents too. They see Serenier, they're probably thinking, oh, this guy's got Lubellion, so we're just gonna try to.
Oh, you can activate the effect.
Yeah.
Yo, okay.
So you can always they can always either try to stop it. I never actually did that, because I wanted to keep the Bystials in deck, because there's no way to recur them. So pretty much that would just be bad on my part, because if I were to send a Druid Swarm, and like if I were to see that at the top of the deck, and we're like on top deck status, and I have Malice monsters in grave, I would rather have that Druid Swarm be there. Sometimes they would probably try to stop the Serenier just from summoning itself, if they're able to, maybe by chaining another Bystial, because they might see a line where I can see Lubellion. I'm not sure. I don't know what's in people's heads, but I play 8, so 8 Bystials.
Okay.
Next standard, you got to play 3 Underground. I play the 1 NA and then 2 Euro. This is mandatory. It's self-explanatory. People play 2 of this card. I think that's incorrect.
We're maxing out.
We max out 100%. I've seen this card in starting hand so many times, going first, to the point that I just take out the nib, and then I can confidently go full bow combo. And then they just cannot stop the Griffin lock. Going second, this card's really good because it applies pressure on a Ryziel board. So many times where I have activated talents to take going second, and the Ryziel player is forced to activate the detonator to either pop itself if they have Eclipse Twins and attached to it, or they just pop something else like the Caesar. But 99% of the time, I always take the Caesar because it stops the Eclipse Twins. If they have Imperm set, they have Imperm set, but then you just pretty much go full combo, use their monsters, and then just use them against them going second.
You just put them in check.
Yeah. I never draw 2. I think drawing 2 off talents is bad, because you're putting your game state at a chance, and if you don't draw what you need, it's a problem. So like right off rip, first monster effect, you're looking at it. And there's times too where like I'm in the side game and I only play 1 in the side. There are times I actually leave all 3 in depending on the matchup. And they Lancia me, and then I go just talents look at hand, and their 1 starter just gets ripped out. Because 99% of the time, like if I'm playing against Fiendsmith Ryziel, and I see just 1 Ryziel monster, I take that out, and then sometimes I'll have a thrust, or sometimes they'll just be under shifter, and then they can't really do Fiendsmith combo under shifter, and they can't really play from there. They just have to draw the out.
Okay.
Or draw to try to play through. Next stuff here, we got the 1 Gold Shark, which is mandatory. a called by. Seen this when I seen it, it's good. I think it's mandatory to play in main deck. I don't think you should play it in the side. I see people doing that, and siding one card just to try to see it, I think is just wrong. This card is just really good going second as well when there's Fiendsmith in grave and they try to Lacrima to summon to try to get the Fiendsmith trap to send Desiree and then send something to grave, or you could just always hit the Desiree. You could hit the Lancia. There's just so many targets. Like this card's good. Gold Shark's self-explanatory. Next, Impulse.
How was that?
Well, first, shout out to Kyle. He got me the Germans before I found out that I placed 86th. So
that's crazy.
So, but you know, this brings joy to me seeing them. They're German. Impulse was crazy this event. Impulse, they never really seen it. So like, you play this card and they're going first. Sometimes, and this happened once already, where I actually impulsed a player and they thought I was on water deck, and they didn't side in Lancia. Because they kind of made an unstoppable. I can't remember my matchups, but he made a hard board to beat, so I just scooped it up and then went to game 2 because I knew what to side in specifically. And then I reversed 2 of them after that. But Impulse goes crazy because it just stops so much. Sometimes you need to stop the Ice Ryziel, and that can kind of stop a turn sometimes if they don't open any other extenders. So I just think it's really good. It stops the Mitsurugi Ritual. It's just a valuable card. You don't want to not have it. And also really good in the mirror match. This is where problems can conflict sometimes, but it's mandatory. So playing the Bystial package, there was just one match where I was like, well, I drew the Imperm, but it was okay because I ended up having a Jerusalem to crash into a detonator, sending the detonator, and it was able to resolve. But like, this just conflicts with the Bystials going second. Usually if you do open this plus Bystial, you want to hit whatever is on field first, and then Bystial it away. Obviously, that's kind of like self-explanatory if you're playing the deck. This is a good card just in general, and it's a staple that you should play. Not only that, Imperm plus Impulse afterwards
FTK
goes crazy because, yeah, you should already know. Next, which is the last, we got the 3 traps. You have to play them, obviously. The brick that's got me to lose the games that I did. Like I said, the only change I'm going to make is Dotscaper. Next stop is the extra deck. We got 1 Almirage, 1 Link Decoder, 1 Link Rebo. You don't need Leak Spider. I listened to Jeff Jones when he was at the last YCS, and he is completely right. Why even play Link Spider? It's pointless. You're playing all these Bystials. Splash Mage is only there for dire situations, and if you're in a losing position, you're probably not playing the cards right. Link Rebo is there just to keep trap cards in check, to stop an Imperm if you need it. Link Decoders if you got the gas, and then Almirage is just if I normal summon and I want to send something grave without wasting the Link Rebo or Link Decoder, Almirage is the way to go for me. But I have to see either the Dotscaper or the Dormouse. Then we got the IP, SP, Haggard Lizardos, mandatory. Sometimes you just put in a position where you got to activate the Lizardos. I only got into this card once this entire event.
No, there's no way.
Swear to God, only once this event. Bystials did all the work. So then we got the Nightmare Phoenix. Sometimes they can nib you on when you summon out the Griffin, so then you can't go into a bow. The Phoenix is there to solve that problem. The amount of times I took the Jeff Jones line is what I'm gonna call it, where I SP banished the Red Ransom. My opponents get so mad because it's like you're playing around nib and they can't stop you from there.
Devious.
Those are all the Link 2s. No, Splash Mage. That's the last Link 2. I think, like I said, I didn't go into it barely, if at all.
Is that the Magispruzzo?
Magispruzzo, it's Italian. But it's there just for the utility. It does come up. You got the 1 Cryptor, 1 Red Ransom, 1 White Binder, the mandatory 3-ofs. These are self-explanatory. Hearts Cryptor, OTK is real, Undershifter. So then you got the Access Code Talker, mandatory, and Firewall Dragon. Firewall Dragon, I'm actually questioning on even keeping. I don't know what to put in place of it. I never go into it, and the one time that I did, which was my last match, I lost.
That's crazy.
Because like I couldn't do anything. So this card might be something else. I'm gonna start testing and trying to look into things, but Firewall Dragon might come out because like this card is just better, along with a bow.
Okay, how was that combo, Oda?
That combo, so like it was really hit or miss. So if I saw a nib in someone's hand after I talents them, I can confidently go into this and say like, okay, I'm gonna Griffin lock you, and you're just gonna have to draw the imperm or have an out to this in some way or fashion. Most of the time, they couldn't do anything, so they just kind of like left it on board, scooped, and then we went to game 2 or 3, whatever it was.
Okay.
And sometimes it just won me the game because they're just like, I can't beat Griffin lock. Griffin combo is insane. Most of the time, you're ending on, because this actually happened to me a couple times. Because if you can't extend into a bow, I've sat on this thing in the extra monster zone, which like in theory isn't correct, but I still win games because now you have to one link zone where you can activate stuff, and if you fuck up anywhere, then it's just kind of like you can't play through all that.
Yeah, you can still hit him with the double banish with that too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like you just have so much gas, and not only that, like Bystials go a long way as well. So like card's nuts. Now for the side. Side deck, we got 3 lands here for the mirror match. It's funny, I didn't see the mirror match until day 2.
That's crazy.
And even then, never saw it. So, but this is mandatory to keep Maliss in check. You got to have it.
You didn't need it.
Didn't need it. You got to have it. Then we play 3 shifter. The shifter, it might be going in main. Just due to the fact that I feel like the only weakness to my deck right now is legitimately water, and water folds to this card. 99% of the time, your hands, if they're average hands, you can play optimally and actually interrupt your opponent. And that's even for decks that can play under shifter. But usually your deck is just kind of like gas, so where you to a point that shifter's just it's gonna get you into OTK lands.
Okay.
We play the 3 thrust. Going first, if I was scared of not seeing this card, and I knew for a fact like I needed to see thrust to see a side card and set it, I sided in 3. Most of the time, I just side in 2. Going second, always 2, never 3, because having a second one is just a brick. Mm-hmm. So again, most of the time I don't want to see multiples, so I only side in 2 thrust. You'll see this thrust targets here in just a second. Actually, put that right there. Thrust targets, I respect back row. This deck loses 2 back row. And so I play the Duster and 2 Lightning Storm. This can conflict. There was actually a time I had to hold a Bystial to be able to just activate this, and my opponent was asking me like, why did you hold the Bystial? And then I told him, I was like, I had the Lightning Storms, and I can't activate Lightning Storm. There's Bystial on field. So if it was Druid Swarm, yeah, I would have 100% done it, because then I could have crashed into his detonator and, try to send it. But even then, that's bad because he had the field spell. So I had to hold the Lightning Storm for that. Only time it ever really conflicted. Then you have the mandatory Artifact Sanctum. Whenever you go first against Maliss, you want to try to stop their turn. And again, never happened, never saw it, so it's cool. DD Ground. This was a last-minute change. Playing against Water at a case tournament the other day, and Water, again, just folds to banishment. So I needed to find a way to, not if I didn't see the shifter, if I saw Thrust or just the card, this card can actually help win games. Now, the MVP of today, of this entire event, and
show the sauce. Show the sauce.
Nobody was expecting it. It's actually the reason I got into day 2. I played against a Tempai player, and he wasn't expecting it either. Is Mischief of the Gnomes. This card gives so much level This card gives level modulation through a turn. So if you activate it, all Ryziel monsters are now level 3. They add a Ryziel monster, cool. It's level 3. Mr. Again, and this also, so like I was in between this and D Barrier, This is just a better all-around card than D-Barrier, just due to the sole fact that Mitsurugi Raizul folds this card. They have to try to find a way to play around it. Same thing with Raizul. They can try to go into Fiendsmith cards if they, then like again, that I cite and shifter for that. So like if I have this, it just kind of seals it up. This helps stop some synchro decks. I'm not too sure about Crystron, because Crystron, they can just always summon from deck.
Crystron's not real.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna make adjustments, but this card's really good. Used it so many times, and nobody ever sees this coming. Every single time they see this set, they're like, what is this?
You gotta pick it up. You gotta read a common.
Yeah, card's real. But that's pretty much my list. I was pretty confident going into this YCS. A little upset I got 86, but
losing
overall,
into the last round to an X1 and missing sucks, bro. I'm so sorry.
But it happens. He was a good player. He just wanted it more than I did. So,
all right.
that's pretty much the list.
No, congratulations. Any shout outs?
First and foremost, shout out to Interstellar, my gaming team. Would not be here without them. There was a lot of testing, a lot of Ironmans that we do personally, and I think having a team just really helps advance your gameplay and lets you see things that normally when you're just testing with friends, you don't see, because you're taking a little bit more seriously in that aspect, and the opinions and criticism that everybody can give you is just so dire to have. Nana has criticized my list so many times, bro. And like, there was one point he was like, bro, Serenir, really? And then I showed him, I was like, Serenir got me there, bro. Serenir got me there. It was a bad hand, but guess what? Chessy Cat, Serenir, and he's like, yeah, I guess. And so then afterwards, he was finally on the train and understood what I meant. And so shout out to Interstellar. Shout out to all my friends. We'll start off with Gavin, Kyle, Watkins, Kyle Jones, Dom, Nana. Those are the guys we actually roomed with. We got Bryant, Evan, we got Adam, Alex, Tyler, Jordan, and Connor Mitchell. Shout out to everybody. You guys helped me. I asked a lot of questions before I even went into this event, and I tried to get an idea of like what I was gonna see, what I wanted to play against, and what cards could help me just extend through. Because like once you get 3 monsters on field, it's over. But shout out to everybody that's helped me out. I can't remember all the names because obviously, but yeah.
All right, now man, keep it up and congratulations.
Thank you guys.